Kathy and Ivan, I've been wanting you on forever. Welcome to the show.
It is fantastic to see you again, Gina.
Good to be here. Good to talk with you again.
So good to see you guys. So take me back to when you were first thinking about building your online course. Like what made you think you might want this for your business?
Well, I'll take you way back, even before Ivan joined Wingspan. It was about 9 or 10 years ago. And
wow.
Really, where it really started is that the leaders that I was working with in our coaching were asking for it. And so they wanted it for their team members. They wanted it for even family members. They wanted family members to learn a lot of the tools because it is about, leader behavior. And so that, just so that you know, it was years of wanting to do this.
Yeah. And that didn't stop. So I've been with the company for 6 years, and the whole time probably not a month has gone by where it hasn't been. So what have you got for a course? Or I want to have some of my team members go through this. We haven't got the budget for them to do this other thing. How do we get them aware of what you all can offer and how they can use these tools? So part of it was scaling how folks could access the tools. Another big part of it for us was, how do we have another revenue stream as a business that wasn't the same thing, and how do we diversify our offerings?
Yeah.
So it sounds like the demand came early on, right? People knocking on your door saying, okay, where is this? And then how do you know as a business owner, okay, that the time is right to move forward with this? People have been asking for years, but now it's going to become a focus and a priority. Like, how did you guys know it was time?
Well, it had been, I would cringe every year that I didn't make progress on it.
Yeah. So
then we started to learn online, do research, and, we're both billable. And so, and we've got, established clients, big programs. And so it was so difficult to find quality information out there. And so really the timing was you.
I love hearing things like that. Yes. Yeah.
It really was. So again, Ivan and I were talking about this the day after. So Perry was telling me what he was working on. And I said, well, tell me more about Gina. How is she how do you work with her? How is she helping you? And the very next day I contacted you.
Yes.
Which I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about it. I was like, whoa, this is going really fast. What the heck? This is going really, so I was a little nervous. And then she came back and was really excited. And I was like, okay, well, give this a shot. Let's see where this goes.
Gina, like you and I met, boom, bam, boom, like perfect fit for each other. And I came back to Ivan. I said, we're working with Gina and her team. Here's what it's going to look like. We're going to learn more. And that was it. And then we were off to the races. So you were really critical for the timing.
Okay. I love this, because one of my questions for you guys was going to be, how did you know you wanted that help, right? How did you know, okay, we needed to hire someone to guide us?
Yeah. And that's, I was just about to add the thing that we had, probably like a lot of business out there, probably like plenty of people listening right now, they're going, oh, this doesn't sound that hard. I'll take a I'll take a course on how to do this. So we actually had purchased a course from another person to step us through this.
Yeah.
And at first we thought, this seems manageable. And then the further we got into it, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. And we went down that rabbit hole and we said, holy cow, there is so much in this. There is so much nuance and there's so much more to this. We just didn't know what we didn't know. And then once we learned what we didn't know, and then all these pieces happened at the same time where we met you and we knew what we didn't know. And we said, yeah, that self journey, discovery, baloney, push that aside.
And we just didn't have time. We have a thriving business in terms of our, coaching, consulting. And it was incredible how working with you and your team, how much it wasn't just that it was a massive project. You helped with decisions, because going back to, we didn't know what we didn't know, just little decisions were like, well, what do we, and you were able to just help us,
step through those.
Yeah.
And it was because we didn't want We didn't want something that smelled like it was homegrown. We wanted something that when people took it, they would go, dang, this is a first-rate quality professional level course. We didn't want it to have that, okay, the camera's crooked, or wait, they just repeated what they said from last time, or wait, this doesn't line up with that, because it would have been reviewing things that we didn't know how to do that you knew to do, where we definitely would have not had a quality product like we got with you.
For sure, which is great for new business owners. Like you just go for it and don't worry about how it looks. It's just, we had an established client base, and they expect very high quality. Otherwise, we're not going to compete with who else they have access to, like, companies like Google and so that's where too, it was incredible to have not only we were tapped into you and your team at Course Creation Boutique. It's your network too.
Yeah.
So, hiring you and your team, and then you helped us to get Jim Pinard, who is
amazing.
So good.
Amazing. And he's like, we consider you all like ongoing members of the Wingspan team. It's just when we tap back into you.
Like that extended family.
And we've done, and by the way, we've done those. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes when we talk about your marketing, but then we've done those ongoing calls with you. I consider you part of the CCB family. So that's awesome to hear. And I want to acknowledge what you said, Kathy, that not everyone needs that world-class, because your course, by the way, is world-class. Like, it is A+. I'm not just saying that because we built it with you. I just, tooting our own horn a little bit. It is gorgeous. It is the standard, I think, of what courses can be. And not everyone needs that out of the gate, to your point, Kathy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you guys have been established, and your clientele and the sophistication of where you're at, very appropriate. Yeah. Very appropriate.
Also for where we're going, because part of the goal for us isn't just to have this on our own Kajabi instance. Part of what we want to be able to do is have this so that if other people have SCORM or other in-house learning environments, they can take our content and drop it right in. And that's where, to Kathy's point, it's if we license that content, how does it sit in context or in that family of other very professionally done products? We want to make sure it was of the same caliber or higher.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk a little bit about the process. I know, Ivan, you were saying like, oh yeah, there was some ahas or surprises along the way. Talk to me about some of those surprises that happened as part of the process.
So it's might sound contradictory. First of all, it was the holy crap, like it's a massive undertaking. Also, though, some of the ahas were the really you were able to be like, no, just do this, or this is a best practice, or doing this one. And it was just like, oh, boom. It was like, we just took another big step forward. And those were some fantastic ahas. I'm not recalling anything specifically, though. It was like, oh yeah, okay. Instead of us like waiting till we had time to talk and then figuring and then Googling it, and oh my gosh,
Yeah. I think what stood out for me, for your guys, is because I was going through our folders before I hopped on here, and every course creator brings their expertise to the process, and you guys are accountability experts, right? You're communication experts. So that was something that was really fun for me, and you really held my feet to the fire in a great way. That we are accountable for our experts as well, but you guys were precision experts, right? And saying, okay, well, is this what you mean, Gina? And then is this the next piece? And is this the next piece? Like I loved it. And you ended up kind of taking our process like heightened to a different level. Like when we did the post-it exercise process, like doing a different kind of grid, and then scripting and changing it up when we went to the prompter. So I loved working with you guys because you brought that extra special precision to the process. So you guys probably didn't know that.
No.
So it's just cool. Who you are, right? So
cool.
And you talked about how busy you guys are, which you're so busy, right? And that's part of the reason why people hire us, to just get it done and make it happen. How did you guys make the time? Because I remember, like, Ivan, you were duck hunting, right? Like at one point, and then we were in the middle of scripting. And then how the heck did you make the time? How did you make it a priority when you're such a busy business owner?
Well, so first of all, one of the things that we really counted on and appreciated was your accountability with us.
Mhm.
So here's the process. Here's what's required. This is the date. And otherwise, the rest of it is going to run off the tracks. And so the accountability that you provide in your process, as well as the clarity, was highly valuable. And that was key.
Yeah.
But what I would add to that too is that and I'm pretty sure you helped us make this shift in our mindset when we stopped thinking of it as, oh, this is this extra thing, and we began to think of it as, no, this is production for our business just as much as any other coaching activity that we have. So when we thought about it that way, it became very easy to say, okay, we're sticking these blocks in. And also for everyone listening, be really honest with yourselves about how much you work best in, say, 2 to 3 hour blocks, and you want to get in and make a big push, or how much you're fast hit, lots of small hits. I can do 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 45 minutes there, because when you're clear on that, it's going to help.
I want to highlight that because Gina, you were brilliant in learning that Ivan and I work very differently.
Yeah.
And so you were working with both of us as content creators, and we work differently. And so you were really fantastic at zeroing in on that so that we could work with our strengths rather than adhere to a rigid process. You have your process, though it's not like so rigid that, I felt like I was really out of whack trying to work it. You really adapted it for us.
I think you bring up a great point, because I remember Ivan would just sit down and write the scripts, right? He would just bang it out, right? And then, but you had a more thoughtful process. I remember, Kathy, and we're like, okay, well, what does this work for you? And we're like, okay, I gotta talk it out, and we figured it out, right? And everyone's got a different process. And that's where, and listen, I've got a course, I've got a 6-week program you can go through, but part of that program is figuring out your process and figuring out what works for you. It's just not one size fits all. What works for Ivan didn't necessarily work for you. And that's okay. That's great. That's part of the process.
Yeah.
And recognizing that.
Yeah. So, it wasn't necessarily that we found the time. It's that the deadlines that we all agreed to, and the support, we got to really lean on each other. The three of us really leaned on each other through the process.
Totally.
That's how we made the time.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said, Ivan, too, about making it a part of your business and not just something on the side. I think that's really important. The most successful course creators I've seen make it a part of their business and say, this is part of who we are now, versus oh, this is just an extra thing that I did. Yeah. Right. So I think that's really smart.
Mindset shift. It also made it easier to say, how do we put this on the calendar when our priority as a small business, especially as a service providing small business, is time with our clients. Yes. So how do we begin to fit these pieces in? And that mindset shift really did make it easier to go, this is every bit as important as these other pieces. So let's go ahead and put that time on there.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let's start. So we've been talking about the creation process. You guys have launched a few times now, which is amazing. Talk to me about some of the results that you've seen as part of these launches.
Yeah, the first one was crazy. We sold out in 48 hours. So
amazing.
We did a founder's course, 25 spots. We put the word out to our current client base and some other folks who had worked with us in the past, and boom, that thing sold out in 48 hours. And we were pretty pumped, pretty high on our horse about it, and really just shocked and really pleased.
Yeah. So surprised.
Yeah. You had the demand, right? That's people asking.
Yeah. Bottled up demand.
Yeah.
You're great at what you do, and you had the demand. So
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And then where did you go? So you sold out, right? Yep. So then you had to close it. And then I think did you launch 6 months after that? Was that right? After the
ish.
Yeah. 6 to 8 months after that. And we made some changes. So again, that's part of the just do it. And that's where you and your team really help us and help your clients to just speaking of launch, you really help launch into it, get rolling with it, because we learned so much in the doing.
Yeah.
And so we made changes for our second cohort. We were learning in the process, not what we anticipated. So we had goals and it ended up being very different than what we planned. We are filling our courses, or our courses are being filled from more B2B work than B2C work. And so part of our goal, our digital courses are a significant part of our overall business strategy. And part of that is to not only diversify our offerings, diversify our customer base, reduce our risk for client concentration, and of course, better and enhance how we're serving them. And so we had so many leaders that are working with us directly that then signed up 4 of their team members, 8 of their team members, because they did, just like Ivan said, they wanted their team members to learn, access, and practice the same tools as they were learning, just at a lower price point.
Yeah, more manageable cost.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, so we're like paying attention and learning, and then in some little adjustments for every launch.
Well, and actually, before you go any further, because one of those really neat requests that we've gotten from some of our past and very strong clients is to say, hey, we'd like to do a private cohort. So we're going to have
that's
to our
great
major
for you guys.
Or one cohort for next year. We're going to have some private cohorts that we're going to do just inside of one company or even inside of one team for a certain number of people. And so that was a really neat way that we got to see how, we can take this and reutilize this in different ways. And now all we're adding is some additional time for our course coaching calls that goes with that course. So
yeah, we're also learning, Gina, we're continuing to learn about the different aspects of launching. So, we continue to reach back out to you because your Kajabi developer expert, Ranesh, helps with the getting all of that stuff rolling between our website, Kajabi, all that integration, and the e-commerce part. And then there's also the whole sales and marketing. And then the course management. And so having in that founders launch, our very first launch, having Debbie part-time as a course manager, now she's a full-time employee with Wingspan.
Oh, I love that. I was just going to acknowledge you guys because you did hire, you say course manager, I say course concierge. I think same. Debbie is incredible, right? Just keeping track of all these moving pieces and learning. And Debbie's always learning. She's like, okay, show me how to do this. Or if we had to go back into Kajabi, she's like, okay, tell me how you did it, so I know it for the future. Like, she's a sponge, and she couldn't be lovelier. And the fact that you dedicated even the resource part-time, and now it's a full-time resource, it comes back to you, right? Because you put that investment in, and that time and that energy and that money.
For sure. Because the other component too that we're continuing to learn is it's a whole other sales and marketing effort. As you continue to expand, like you said, like double down on that signature course, now it comes time for the sales and marketing.
Yes, it's so good. And I also wanted to applaud you guys because you were patient, you were curious, but patient, right? So like in that first launch, we talked about tier pricing. We talked about other gizmos and upsells and things you can do. And I said, just do it as is. Boom, sells out in 48 hours, right? Then the next one, you add a couple more bells and whistles, and then look at you guys. You add a layer each time. Now you're doing cohorts. That's a great avenue of revenue for you guys, just doing those live. Perry does that. We mentioned Perry Moffmer. He does that as well. He does those cohorts for specific businesses. That's an awesome revenue source. So you guys, I applaud you for really focusing on that one course and not getting shiny object syndrome, right? Like, okay, now we can create 17 other courses. Like, you're really, it does happen. It does happen. But the fact that you are really honing in on what you've got, this income producing asset, and like, how can we leverage it in different ways? Like, just awesome.
Well, that's something that you created a lot of safety for us, the whole team in the process also is, okay, we're going to make the decision and we're going to execute on that decision, and then we're going to learn, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like even our pricing, our clients are the ones that told us, oh, you're pricing this way too low. Like, so we started somewhere and then we just continue to learn.
And that's what we talked about, right? Starting at that lower price point, we're like, this is a bananas price, right? This is a no-brainer, and you'll never charge that again. You've never charged that again, right? You just continue to go from there. Right. Nowhere close. Love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. What's next? It's you're going to launch once next year. You're going to do these cohorts. Like, anything else you guys are cooking up in terms of the course or launches?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are aiming for a big launch. The numbers go way up. We're like, times 10. We're doing 10,
8 or 10
approaching
times.
it with a 10x mindset.
All right.
Yeah.
And then even our launch runway, like 30 to 45 days.
Yes.
And starting to bring in ads. So there's a lot that we still.
Good. You're adding those layers.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like the upsell, the downsell, those.
Yeah, and then that combined with the private cohorts is a newer piece that we're doing as well. And with this, of course, there's all these, again, for anybody listening, there's all these additional kind of components to this. So it sounds easy. Oh, okay, private cohorts. Well, that sounds like a normal class just for an individual group. Yeah, not so much. And that's where, again, the Debbie on our team is so amazing, because she can say, okay, how are we going to do this? How do we ensure that this happens? And all these little things that, reaches out to Gina for support. So those are the kinds of things where you don't know what's around the curve until you get at least partway around the curve. Then you can see a little bit further down the road. And then it's like, oh, okay, we want to figure this out or that out. And then it's this iterative learning process. So I'd say embrace that concept for everybody listening, and don't think you're going to figure it all out the first time, because that's bananas. You're absolutely going to have plenty of other things to figure out as you go.
I totally forgot also, so WPA, our digital course, has also been the part of the pipeline for our membership. Accelerator.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. What's the membership accelerator? And how is it a pipeline for that?
Yeah. So it's group coaching.
Okay.
So we
month to month.
Yep. Month to month.
Okay. It's actually multiple times each month. We do a call every Friday.
Yeah.
So
I could do a call every Friday with you guys. That would be amazing. Well,
that's what we can.
Thanks.
That.
So you're a glutton for punishment, or So people have said, hey, we want to have this group coaching experience. They didn't use that exact language.
In WPA.
Yeah. So either people had it in WPA and they said, we want to keep doing this.
We want more.
You want more. Or people have said, hey, we want this. And what we realized is, well, gosh, to get somebody up to where they've got the minimum to be able to jump in with the team and not feel like they're confused or sinking means taking WPA. So now our course is really this on-ramp for this group coaching experience that we've got.
That's great, guys. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great offer.
So digital courses helping us to launch these other programs that are, it's cohesive now with the business strategy.
Okay, that's so good. That's so good, guys. And then, okay, we've talked so much about this course. Where I know you guys only open it, right? So often every year, but there's a wait list, right? So tell folks how they can get access to this world-class course.
Yeah, if you go to wingspanperformance.com, and if you look in the top right,
it's on the homepage.
It's on the homepage.
Yeah, it's on the homepage.
You'll see where it says coach or course. You can just click right on the course, and then they can join the wait list. Also, we've got a jumpstart course that they can watch to learn a little bit more about us. And that's just a 15-minute short thing.
We create a little quick course.
Yeah.
Free? Is it free, or is it?
Yep, absolutely free. So no cost.
Great feeder.
Yeah. Jump on out there, wingspanperformance.com. So you can take that little free jumpstart course, and then you'll start to learn more about and see our timing for the Wingspan Performance Academy.
You'll nurture me to the wait list from that jumpstart. Okay, I like it. Nice, guys.
Almost like some expert told us all these things.
Oh my gosh, it's almost like somebody gave you advice on that and you followed it.
Really good advice.
All right, I know you guys are busy. I could talk to you all day. Thanks so much for being on today and taking the time, guys.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And you're critical for us, like in our business strategy and in our family as well. So thank you, Gina.
Yeah. And I have to say, for anyone listening, again, if you're in that spot of, I'm not sure, maybe I can pull this off on my own. If you really want it to be a solid and also just a much more enjoyable experience, be sure to grab Gina and this team, and they will absolutely take you across the goal line.
Yeah, for sure.
She will guys.
Eliminate all that stress and indecision and frustration. Just eliminate it.
Thanks, guys. We should do this every day.
Sounds great.
Love it.